Japan, there was an old woodcutter, and his name was Mosaku. And he had a son called Minokichi. And every day they would go out and they would cut firewood. They'd come back, carry it back, and they would sell it in the market and so forth. And this one day, it was really getting kind of cold, and they were running out of firewood that was easy to cut and everything. And they had to cross the river. They had to go deeper into the mountains. And so that's what they went in. And they went up there, and pretty soon it started to snow a little bit. But they had a lot of wood, and they were cutting away there. And pretty soon they got enough to fill their packs and getting ready to come back. Now, to cross the river, they had to go across on a ferry. And there was a ferryman that had a little shack on each side of the river. And when he was on this side, people would come and wait for the boat, and then he would take them across. Well, as they went across, they said, "Now, don't forget us. We will be back tonight with our wood." And so when they came down out of the mountain, Minokichi and Mosaku came down, and they came to the little shack where the ferry was, and they realized that the ferry had forgotten about them. He had already pulled his boat up on the shore, and he was like on the mountainside. They had to get to the village. They said, "Well, we can spend the night here. It might be kind of cold." But he had a few futon there. He had a few quilts and things around there. And this is a little old Japanese story. They're telling me these old friends of mine here. So the woodcutters came down and put them in this cabin there. And they were all covered up in these quilts and so forth. And during the night, the son, Minokichi, woke up and heard the sound. And he looked over, and there beside his father, he saw a beautiful woman, all dressed in white, long white hair, and she was blowing her breath on the father. And whenever the breath touched his skin, it became covered with ice. The old man was being frozen to death right there. And Minokichi looked at her, "Oh, this is really trouble." And she looked at him and she says, "I planned to get you too, but I realize you are a young, handsome man, and I think I will spare you tonight. Taking your father was enough." And with that, whew, she disappeared with the winter wind. But before she left, she told him, "If you ever tell a soul what you saw here tonight, I will come back and I will kill you." And so the next morning, when the operator began to operate the ferry again, he took the footage of they said, "What happened to your father?" "I don't know. He just kind of froze to death there, I guess. That was, I don't know." "Oh," he said, "I'm so sorry. I forgot about you fellows. I forgot to take you back." I said, "It's really terrible. It's really my fault." "No, it's really all right, of course." And so they got back to the village, and Minokichi went and had to tell his mother what had happened to her husband, the old man. And it went on that way. They resumed their life. And then on the 49th day, when they had a funeral arrangements, they had to go to town. They had to go to town, to the temple, and have special prayers and burn candles and incense for the father. Coming back from that celebration, they saw a woman, a young woman, and she was looking very cold. And I went up to her and said, what brings you to town? She said, I'm on my way to the city. I'm looking for work, but I had to stop in this village first. Is there any place around here I could spend the night or find work for a while? And they said, well, come home with us. Come home with us. We will see that you get a nice dinner. And so they brought this young woman back to her house. And she was a beautiful young woman. And she was very helpful. She actually began to help around there. And within a day or two, the mother realized that her son, Minokichi, and this woman whose name was Yuki, which means snow, by the way, Yuki, kind of had an attraction for each other. And so after a while, the mother said, why don't you two just get married? Why don't you can live here? You don't have to go to the city. And Kiki said, yeah, that sounds okay to me. And she said, yeah, I like living here. You are very nice people. And so that's what happened. They did get married, and they lived there. And before long, they began to have children. And after a while, a long time after that, the mother finally passed away. And Minokichi and his wife Yuki began to grow older too. And the children kind of grew up and began to leave home and so forth. And one evening they were sitting there, and Yuki was sewing, doing kind of embroidery with her needlework and so forth. And her hair by that time had begun to turn white with age and so forth. And Minokichi was looking at her there in the lamplight and says, looking at you like that, you remind me of someone I saw a long time ago. Oh, really? I remind you of someone? Said, yeah, it was a long time ago. Well, tell me about who it was. Well, it was this woman. A woman? Well, then I think you should tell me about it. Oh, I promised her I would not say anything about it. Oh, you made a promise to a woman, and you're not going to tell your wife about it. I think maybe you should tell your wife about it. Well, I promised I wouldn't, but it had to do with the death of my father and things like that. Oh, maybe I should hear about this. And so, after a while, he began to tell the whole story about the night they were caught out on the mountainside of the river. And this woman came in, blowing her breath over, and his father was covered with ice and frozen. Told the whole story. With that, Yuki, the wife, took the needle from her embroidery work, put it in the pin cushion, looked up, and with a slight smile on her face, said, I am that woman! And I told you never to tell a soul again. And because of that, I have come back. I will kill you. But again, because of the sake of the children, I will save you. But if you ever let any harm come to them, I will come back and get you. And with that, she disappeared into the snowdrifts of the winter wind. And even today, if you go hiking in the mountains of Japan, anytime it ever snows, people will warn you, be careful of the snow woman.